Capitalism is all about fear. That's all it comes down to. I mean, when you think about it, let's say, for example, moderators did not exist tomorrow. Like, there was just no moderators and you could not get banned. What would happen? I'm being completely serious here. If you think you have an argument, tell me what would happen if there was no moderators to ban people. What? Would there be offensive posts, like now? Would there be harassing posts, like now? Would there be people ganging up on one another, like now? The only difference would be there would not be controlled environments that could support those things. If someone were to harass you, you could harass them back. It isn't simply the moderator picking and choosing. And most often it's the moderators doing the harassing, not the individual members. I don't give a fuck what any of the people in my comment section say. If they got something to say about me, go right ahead. I don't give two shits. I'm going to say what I have to say. But the moment the moderator thinks he can stop me, we have a problem. Because I cannot just simply put a barrier between me and censorship. I would either have to have legal grounds to stop him, or I would have to violently stop him. That's kind of hard given the distance between us. So, explain to me what would happen if moderators didn't exist. How would that be a bad thing? Because even the argument of hackers and things like that could, hack into your account shit, they can do that anyway. In fact, they can do that all the more so because moderators encourage that kind of negative activity. So, even the only instance where you could argue for moderators, they couldn't stop it anyway. So if they can't physically stop it, why do they exist? They only compound a pre-existing problem. That is in essence capitalism. You already have enough problems with natural disasters, poverty, hunger, things like that, and capitalism only makes it worse. Everybody loves to point out, how certain people starved in Maoist China or in Stalinist Russia, not taking into consideration natural disasters. Sometimes shit happens. Food doesn't grow, and people go hungry. That is a natural occurrence. But when capitalism can intervene in that production and say that you should starve because you're poor, I'm not, fuck you, I own the means of production, that just compounds the problem. And why are we dealing with that? Fear. We're dealing with the metaphorical fear of what would happen if we didn't have capitalism because we're just so used to it. We're so used to working every day for our capitalist overlords, we cannot imagine life without them. But I guarantee you, it couldn't get any worse. It could only get better. So if it can only get better, why not fucking do it? And that's just with moderators and with, farming and things. I could say the same thing about everything. Every single institution. Let's say there wasn't capitalist ownership over alcohol production. You just produce alcohol and you drink it. The same thing goes with farming and with doctors and with everything else. People can still do the things they do right here, right now. They just would not have bourgeois owners telling them how to produce it, to what extent, to what to charge it, who gets it, who doesn't, things like that. Why do you need owners? Why do you need masters? That is the question. And the simplest answer I can give you is to live life without fear. That's why people hate what I say. It's not because it's illegal. It's not because it's wrong. It's because they cannot stand the fact that I do not live my life without fear. And that is not to say that you're going to be able to do it all the time, every time. That is not physically feasible. You have to pick your battles. I understand that. There is a difference between being a realistic human being and being the Ubermensch. I don't expect you to be the Ubermensch, but I do expect you to pick your battles. I do expect you to fight against at least a couple of your masters within your lifetime. You can do it. You'll be better off for it. Why not do it? That's all I try to introduce in my videos. That's the only thing I try to incorporate, is that you don't have to take this bullshit, at least not to the extent that you do. That's all I have to say.